good evening. It's worthy on car starters according to the security to prove what you buy. Joshua, your statement is not as clear. It's not as clear, so clarify a little. Good evening, good evening, Pade, Antonio, Eddie, Sareri, Joshua, stem cell therapy, Derek Lule, Herbert. How are you people? So I'm going to be driving to a totally different direction today. So guys, how are you? Waliwo akayimba ke mbadde mulidde okuwulira kankabazanyire.
It's the cafe. Oh, it's someone!
Hey!
Do the hammer!
Muna! Turi walawa!
We can do it together as one. Idebo, Uganda, tukora hamwe. Nuwabu sije, nuwabu
Mukajukira.
Emirman patwaza. Bwana tukwatanise. We can do it together as one. Enyaukanya mubuzarwa. Nenyikiriza zaitu. Nikeki fora vembaganiza. Tumbeke hanga yetu hamu.
Yes, we can do it together as one. We can do it together as one.
Eye mukukola tuyombagana tuwanagana tusonjagana naye tukwatire wamu ate agali awamu gegaluma ennyama. So we can do it. We can do it.
Yes, we can do it together as one. We can do it together as one.
Hey, Muna, kamatoka jitembeli. Jitembeli.
Bana, tuli kuchiwa.
Tuli mukatale.
Where the highs and lows may be there. Good evening, people.
Maybe there.
When we get together as one, we can do it. We can do it.
Tuchisobola, tuchibaza.
Bamuji Mupade, Clark Raim, how are you? Alcam Timo, how are you? Salmina, how are you, brother? Joshua, how are you? Ono Mugabe Joshua. Nicholas Juku, Obuze nyo, how are you? Abe Bukenya, how are you? Andrew Chama, how are you? So I was watching a very interesting video. It was a lady that was talking about Yachi Satya. She was talking about the effect of where people get success they hadn't planned, and all of a sudden, for example, someone has money all of a sudden, and they have money all of a sudden, and they don't believe that it's their money. They all of a sudden have fame and they don't believe it. We have all seen it, where someone gets money and they are even scared of showing that they have money. Nasigalanga yambale engoye enfundu, avuga ebimotoka ebifundu. You find someone, they don't believe that good things belong to them. Someone can praises them. Naga me atachinza kuba change echo. I found it very interesting. But anyway, today kumulamwa kwaffe. Is it worth you buying a car from the bond now? And then I'm going to be introducing to you a certain rule that I think that we could apply as young people, especially because in the youth, I'm about to stop being a youth. I'm going to start being an old man. But right now I'm still a youth. Whatever minister wabavubuka alindoza myaka nga 3 kwa 45. Sinaweza ya dasa tumweta. Nchali muvubuka. I'm still a youth. Hi Jerome, Vinicats, King Daniels. Hi, hiyo Isuzu. Obezo baita Isuzu bichezo. Wanyi Isuzu ezo waliyo Isuzu big honi envundu ennyo. Yoba bagita Isuzu bichi. Naye mulabaka esike kawe emirembe enfufu emmotoka zinkube enfufu sifaayo. Ndi mu SC neyagala. Era natali mu SC obodduka. Yeah. I hope you guys are doing well. So today we're going to be talking about if it's worth it for someone to buy a car from the bond right now, and which people should be thinking about going to the bond. Because of late I find that literally everyone that can amass some money akwata sente zona za ina nagenda mu bond agule, probably because they made the wrong decision as they were buying their first cars, because they bought badly. Ogula obubye moroka ekumara ke emirembe okitegeera. So which kind of people should be buying new cars? With what income should someone be thinking, oh, now I think I can buy a new car? Because literally not everyone should be thinking about going to the bond. Now, when I talk about new cars, I'm not talking about zero mileage cars. I'm talking about bond new cars. Kakati, who should be buying new cars and what rules should basically be applying? One thing we need to understand is that every car loses value, but there reaches a certain point where the car no longer loses value, depending on the condition it's in. I'll give you an example. A Toyota Vitz 2001 model on UAS, if it's in good condition, if you have kept it properly, because there are people that spoil cars. That car will lose value no matter what. But still, even when mishandled, Toyota Vitz 2001 model, it can't go below a certain level. It can't go below a certain value. Like the Toyota Vitz 2001 model, as long as it has a good engine and good gearbox, it will not go below 8 million, no matter what. So that a car will reach a point where it can't lose any more value. So those are some things that we need to consider as we think of buying cars. Yet a new car will continuously lose value every year, every month. By the way, every month that a new car is on the road, because literally in Uganda, every year we get a new number plate. Now by UBP ganye, UBP chale medeko, oraba UAN nuwe yetu yiseko. Motoka yatuka ku point techa losing a value. It's at around 12-13 million. It cannot go lower than that amount. Engine gearbox. That's the only reason it would go lower than 13 million. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So sometimes you may start thinking, is it worth me buying a car from the bond, or I should think of buying a used car that is no longer losing value? Because every car, even motorcycles, for example, motorcycles reach a point where they no longer lose value. I think that's the point when they start buying them at 1-2 million. It's no longer losing value, unless if it has a problem where you need to like invest an extra 800,000. 2 million is like the last bit for a good motorcycle, regardless of the number plate. Chibina right now will not go lower than 5 million if in good condition. And if you buy it lower than 5 million right now, you're going to be buying a bad car. You're going to be buying problems, I'm telling you. There are exceptions. I'm not going to say there are no exceptions. There are exceptions where someone can buy a car at 3 million and it's in good condition. Those are very rare exceptions. Very rare. Because there is no person that has their good car and it's good, it's still serving them, and they sell it less than 5. Now, the rare exceptions will only happen if someone has really gone broke. Because omuntu bwayavuwala asobola okutunda ekintu kyekyebeeyi n'akitunda layisi ddala nno okitegeera ng'ayavuwadde. But still abaavu b'ennaku zino si be baavu bedda. Abaavu b'ennaku zino, they have sources of money. They can borrow from the bank. I can literally use my car to get a loan. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. I can use my car to get a loan. It will be caveated, but if my car is like worth 13 million, if it's valued at like 13 million, I can go and get a loan of like 5. And there is no reason for me to sell my car that is worth 13 million, sell it 7 when I can get a loan. Now, majority of the people that sell their car very cheaply simply because they have run into a problem are those people that have poor planning. Those people that don't have friends. Useful friends at least. Because you can have friends that are not useful to you. You get? There are people that have friends that are not useful to them. Because if you have friends, and of all your friends, you cannot even collect 500,000. Because I want to nemoroka zawe, that is because of mitwala atano, because of 1 million. But those are rare cases now, because Ugandans right now are cutting off. You will be surprised the number of videos I'm watching of people cutting off friends that are not useful to them. Plenty of videos. So Ugandans are getting used to letting go of friends that are not that useful to them. I have a problem, you cannot help me ever. Ever wembeda nechizibu tontaza. Wabula goba nechizibu nze go kubira. I remember I had a friend of mine, like he takes a long time ngatayogera nange. Then bwafuna echizibu obero lyawo ngakubidde. Nze gundi. Oshagera yakubira aina chizibu. He only calls you when he has problems. He never calls you when he doesn't have problems. Kangule kugonja wano. Nabagazi kati ebintu bya ku streets kyamala gali alya bwe bamanyi siri awo nnyo nyabo mpa kugonja olina wa 10 baby ni 10 okay, Lucky Brint Kamanyire Peter Nahawe Solomon live here watching straight from Dubai. How is Dubai, Peter? Arthur, how is the new year so far? My year is not that bad. I can't really complain. I'm healthy. My boys are healthy. My wife is healthy. My grandmother is healthy. My closest family is very healthy, so I can't complain. And when that works out, health is wealth, right? So the new year is not that bad. Emmanuel Kabari, hi. Lucky Brint, Aloyo Joan Jojo, Pade Mutumba. It depends on the budget. Budget decides. Pade, have you seen people that draw a budget? People can draw a budget naenga, they are not supposed to be drawing that amount. I want to buy a budget of 20 million in a million abiri mo bidi bulamu. Ochitegera.
He is so gullible. They've got cold hearts. They really don't care. They're after his money.
It's never about love. It's all about money, lies, fake love, pretense. Oh fella, you gotta wake up. Awake your sanity. She got no love for you. She got no love for you.
He is so gullible.
Abai, omukazi anguziza gonja atayidde. Neba na Uganda. Yeah? Anyway, kasitandidde komu. Ate bw'oba ova mu jimwe, appetite ebeera waggulu. Appetite ebeera waggulu. Financial discipline should be the determinant. Rujumba Kasim, how are you? So, I'm going to park somewhere. I'm waiting for someone. I'm going to go and park somewhere and then we talk to Ogeneburunji. But anyway, is it, according to you guys, is it plausible right now? Is it a good thing for someone to simply go and buy a new car simply because they have a down payment? Orokuba mpezeza sente zigula kawundo mu bonding endenje kule. Orokuba mpezeza sente zigula fielder mu bonding endenje kule. It's my dream car after all. nga enkadde kweziri ku street. Oba sometimes I should apply some knowledge. Yeah? Ngule zitambuddeko. Because that's also an approach. You could decide to simply buy you could simply decide to buy a car that is you could simply decide to buy a car that has been driven on the road for like a year or two and save money. Use that money for something else. There is this talk of dream cars and all. I find that before super custom mujirabye ekyamusolu ebyogende ebiganye tegenda kweyongera yawe eganye. I normally tell you guys, don't buy super customs. They are comfortable, but that comfort is not worth the price. So anyway, tuli mukwogera dream cars. Me, I don't find the argument of this is my dream car, that is my dream car, that's the car I decided to buy the moment I get money. It's not just simply about getting money. Because you can get money, that money is just simply not the money you should be using to buy a new car. I didn't buy my first cars from the bond, and it was a lot of help. I bought my current one from the bond, and coming to 2 years just service and drive. So it's worth to buy a car from the bond. Gideon, I'm going to do some math for you. The first cars you bought badly. You see, the thing with bond cars, the thing with bond cars is that there is very little gambling. There is very little gambling. But even with as little gambling as we can talk about, is it worth it? Tugenda kola muka matha akatono tono. Tugenda kakola live kubana ngesinna kakola nengenda bibala bwendi. My other phone najitaddeko ne calculator, badete ina calculator. Njitaddeko calculator because matha antawanya. But tugenda kugattagatta ffenna tulabe what makes sense. Arthur, I think it depends on what one wants and the money they have. Saddam, I would like to disagree with you a little bit, and I love cars, by the way. I love cars. Every time we go to the bond and I inspect a car for someone, and I have some Indian dealers that can give me cars. By now, I have some Indian dealers that can give me cars on loan. Even when I don't have the full amount. For the person I am. I also have people that have offered me cars. And someone says, Jangolo on them Moroka to collect contract or to langire ku channels zo. You get it? So, so I'm still thinking, is it worth it? That's always the question I'm asking myself. Majority of my friends who bought cars from the bond all want to go to the bond. Buying a 20 million car when you have 22 in your life is financial suicide. Thank you, Herbert. And I can tell you that so many times this happens. So many times this happens. A person buys a car at 32 in a 31 million in their lives. Then a motoka nekutunulira. Okitegeera. A motoka nekutunulira n'otandika okulaba nali nfaaki. Okitegeera. But of course these are questions that today we are talking with Mama Urban, and I was telling her that I think as we grow up, to know where our priorities are, because as you grow up, you start realizing that when you're in problems, you are alone. You can make calls here and there, but majority of the times when you're in a fix, everyone else is in a fix. And whether they lie or not, it's completely okay for them to be in a fix when you're in a fix. However, when things are going right, we have a lot of people around us. So the same thing happens when you buy a car with all your money, regardless whether it's new or old. Chances are high that when you're there sulking, trying to do the math, you're seated in your sitting room again, probably alone, probably you're seated in your car alone. The math mathematics is not mathematicing. Uchitegeera ngaganye nengo ine moroka empya. That's exactly what we were talking about with my cousin the time that I installed the Android radio in the other bits that I was driving. And the Android radio was there, and then I was saying, okay, then what? Yes, I have it. Yeah, so it was there. Like I don't spend majority of my time in a car. Yes, I do a lot of videos when I'm in the car, but that's not majority of my time. Which take it, like I drive an hour while I'm doing the live broadcast. Okay, I drive 2 hours basically. While I do the live broadcast, then I get to work, and then I get out of the car. I don't get back into the car until the evening when I'm going home, or until I actually have to sit in the car and work again. Majority of the time when I'm seated in the car, I'm either going somewhere or working. Which take it. Sorry, network but I'm going to park somewhere, and then we talk uninterruptedly. I'm going to be parked somewhere, and then to get any Matthew before it is it or not Matthew. So we installed the radio, and then we were talking, and then we were saying, okay, so we have installed the radio. So what? And it was just a radio, a normal radio. Android. Okay, it was much more powerful. It had better display. But there was nothing special. There was nothing that big to it. Which take it. So I think I'm going to park here as I wait for the person I have to wait for. That's enough light, right? So and there are plenty of things apart from the things that are necessary when I put them in my car, like the car alarm, like if you put a tracker, that's also very necessary. You buy new tires, they make the car look nice, but they are also necessary. One of the reasons why I don't, for example, buy sport rims is because I'm thinking to myself, after I put the sport rims, or they call them the alloy rims, after I put those rims on my car, then what? Because I'll still be because after putting those rims, I'm still going to be driving on the same dirty roads with filled potholes and all. So when you think about it, there is nothing special that is going to happen to that car. The same thing happens when you buy a new car. Yes, there is that new car feel, but unless you really must buy a new car, personally, I don't believe it. Hi Balvids, Betty Namuli, how are you? Rujumba Kasim, bro. Mbulirayo kuba yindi abagebe moroka za alone, bro. I would leave that to you. I don't want you to go to someone bakuole moroka bamariba jisike ato nkubiro ngambe Arthur moroka bajise bichi. I don't want you to go somewhere and borrow a car because Arthur told you to go there. I want you, if you're going to buy a car on a loan, go yourself funo moyindi wo mukole na business so that I'm not in the middle. Moroka zo kuolezo I don't sagala mbanja gara gwe no kola naye. It's not worth it because according to me, anyone can buy a car which he or she can buy twice. Atono Jerisha Motors atunda moroka, so bwaba akugamba bwatyo nga ate bya atunda. Good evening, Samuel. So let me try. I have my book here. For the people that have done inspection with me, normally when we buy cars, this is where I write my agreements. I handwrite all my agreements. Like this is a photocopy of the Harrier Kawundo we bought. Photocopy of the agreement. So this is the book Chiwedenako. Like I said, last year we did 53 inspections. Of the 53 inspections, 2 people did not buy, 1 went back and bought on their own, which take it. So we helped 49 people get cars last year. And all the 49 agreements were written up. No, I had another book. So anyway, is it worth buying a new car? I find that it's totally worth it if it's what you want to do because it's your money. Tewaba kugamba nti togula moroka ira tova ku live broadcast eno kugamba ata yatugambye tetugula moroka ampya. It's your money. You can do whatever you want with your money. Don't let anyone tell you what to do. Izo sentence izo bobo ina millions onkaga nga you want to go and buy a car, go ahead and buy it. I'll give you an example. There is a person who bought a car with teyagivuga yadde omwaka n'ayagala ogitunda n'emusale million 15 because he really needed money. Of course it was for business. I'm sure he made that money back, but atengera omuntu oyo bwe yali agula emmoroka eyo, I asked him why yenga gyayagala okitegeera. So I asked him because having driven so many cars, I know that fenga abavubuka e Uganda wano, our economy is too bad. Our economy is really bad to the extent that someone can invest like 10 million in a shop in January and by October the shop has 3 million. Okitegeera nga naye azinoonya weziraga talabawo. Okitegeera. Thanks Betty to be here. For the ladies it's not easy. By the way, naye abakazi abamu babeerayo Daniels, they be there in Kamoli. So anyway, it's very important that tulowooza nnyo, especially the hustlers, the people that are expecting money every month as a must. Oba mukoze oba temukoze, you're expecting money. You in a different category. There are people that are employed by corporations. If for example I worked with a corporation like Pepsi, as long as I hit my targets, I'll be paid. I'll even get commission. But if person like me who owns small businesses, I know for a fact that there are chances that I'm going to buy a car and later on I need capital and I'm losing money when I'm selling my car, because the fact is every time someone switches a car, they lose some money. And of course there are other factors that you have to consider. For example, a car that was being sold at like 38 million last year, today is being sold at 35. Chitegeza yajigula 38 ate nogivugamu omwaka, there is no way you're going to sell that car to someone at 35. Chitegeza wajigula 38 million last year, today ogenda gitunda like 33, 32. How much money are you losing? You're losing 5 million in less than a year. Ochitegera. So the only thing probably you have to do is to make sure that you're financially secure to the extent that you'll drive that car until such a point where the money you lose is not that much a big deal. Like I've told you, cars lose value up to a point where they no longer lose value. A car will lose value up to a point where it can't lose any more value. You get what I'm saying? A car will lose value up to a point where it can no longer lose any more value. My Corolla can't lose any more value. Okujja konge yononese nnyo, it cannot lose any more value. Corolla yange ya million 10 nebo onoolaga watolina ogenda kujja Corolla nga namunge yange ngikawanswa million 10. Okitegeera? Tolina ogenda kujija. So my Corolla reached a point where it can no longer lose value. Ipsum, however bad the Ipsum is, okujja konga engine infu oba gearbox infu, Ipsum za million 5. Take once 1 million 5. Chitegeza, even you as you buy the Ipsum, make sure you buy it 5.6, so that if you drive it a year, you still sell 5 million. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So it's important for you to add mathematics. A Morocco empia, a ya bond, loses about 10%. Kastojija mu bondi what? Naba bondi benyini bayote bachajigula sente ze bajiguziza. If you buy a car from the bond, for example, at 35 million, the moment you drive it out of the bond, actually the moment you pay for it, gwe no mara wote moroka yo, no bagamba sikyajagala. Ngojiguze million na satu mta, it will lose 3 million. Go baga sikyajagala, losing a million meka? Million is satu. Because the million is satu game, goba goli ebisede ebisinga. Million is satu kutano. That's the profit that person gets. So the moment you pay for the car like this, it has lost 3 million. Because for the person to buy it back from you, they'll have to make more profit from it. So you buy 35, you say, oh, I don't want the car, boss, I've gotten a problem, give me back my money. He'll give you back 32. So just like that, you've lost 3 million. Drive it off the lot, off the bond. Take that car out of the bond. You know how much money you're losing? You're losing a minimum of 5 million. That's one thing you need to understand. The moment you drive a car out of the bond, it has lost about 5 million in value. Okujjako nga mukama akukwatiddeko nnyo n'osanga omuntu ng'abadde mmoroka eyo gy'anoonya yennyini n'akusanga ng'ogifulumiza eri kanamba, otegera kye nkugamba. So it's important for us to always remember that before we go to the bond to buy new cars. Then there is this other thing that we need to consider. It's very important, but people rarely actually think about it. How much do you make a year? Okola sente meko mwaka. How much? That's the question. Guys, like the broadcast. You guys are 44, we have only 12 likes. Like the broadcast, like the broadcast, like the broadcast. Sente okola meko mwaka. Kogendo okutola sente zigula. I'm going to give you some mathematics that I think we should be able to work with when we are going to buy a car. I think for the cars that are under 30 million, it's okay to go to the bond because majority of them are so abused on Ugandan roads. Grandma, I beg to disagree with you that those cars are not abused. It's just that when you're buying a car, majority of the time when you're buying a used Ugandan used car, you want to buy it so cheaply. So, and when you want to buy a car so cheaply, you only see the bad ones. Checho Chemba Gamba, there are people that call, there is a gentleman that I just booked pre-purchase inspection later on in this month. He called me and he told me, Arthur, I want you to help me inspect a Subaru 2012 because I want to buy it at 17 million. The first question I asked this gentleman, Obama Child, I think it's a lady. Don't tell me the name. Nangamba agenda gula Subaru Impreza at 17 million. Ninamubuza erinnya. Nangamba agenda gula Subaru Impreza 2012 at 17 million. The first question I asked this person, have you seen the Impreza? Why did I ask that? Because I remember there is a time we wanted to buy an Impreza. We ended up buying a 2008 model at 17. So getting a 2012 model at 17 will be a stretch. It will be a very big stretch. That's why I asked him, Nangamba, I have someone that can get it for me. Nemugamba booking. Ida bookings or nakulwa inspection. Tugenda tuzirabe. The only problem with the 2012 Subaru is if I know gearbox, I don't know why. I'm going to see the recalled because there are years of Subaru Imprezas that were recalled by Subaru the company. So I want to see if that's the year that was recalling because there is a possibility that Oliva aji recalling anga yajikowa then aji wabwine aji take up to auction. Ochitegera. After my network is bad, I watch later. Kale Saddam, no problem. Webale kubeera. James Musinguzi, Amina, Joshua. There is a song said a Morocco in Kadezo. Abazili n'abasajja. Worth to buy a new car if you have money. Okay? Thanks Arthur, happy new year firstborn. Arthur bro, I need a Sienta but in good condition, mostly in UB series. How much? I think with the Sienta you can get at around 15 million, 16. Morocco so jifunanga nonje nanga UB series because the Sientas are being sold at I think 25, 26 depending on where you buy them. Hi Hamim. So we have the facts straight. Nti kati Joshua kugambe wobo ina sente gendo gule moroka ya bond. But it's important for us to understand. Nti toko atasende zozo nazo inano zgula moroka ya bondi. Like we have already understood. A moroka ya bondi is losing a value faster than a moroka in Kadde. You see, a car that is on UBN is losing less value than a car that is on UBP. Emoroka eri ku UBN te losing a value ngemoroka eri ku UBP. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Emoroka eri ku UBN etambudde. Naye kati ate abanoonya sente abalina sente zigule emoroka ya UBN ne bwe babagiseera bangi kubalina sente zigule emoroka ya UBP. Kitegeeza omuntu eyagula emoroka UBN n'agivugamu nga kati agwali agituna miliyoni 3. Ajja kufuna omuntu amugulako emmoroka eyo mangu okusinga gwalina UBP gyoguza 3.5 ng'ogivuzeemu omwezi gumu ng'oyagala 3.4. It will be a worth buy. Everybody will see it naye nga tebakola ki because you also have to understand kakati nno majority of the time I'm talking considering the fact that you guys you're going to buy a car but because you're a young person, I'm figuring I'm talking to young people. Because you're a young person, you may want to sell that car. You may want to sell that car. Not because you've gone broke, but because there's a business opportunity that you've seen that is worth it. That's why Anyaba Dagamba, Chris Fitness, I think, Yabadagama, it's not wise for you to buy a car with all the money you have. Because remember, you need businesses to maintain that car. Okay? You need to have fuel in that car. That car is basically going to be taking. Majority of your cars don't bring in. For me, my cars bring in. Because I drive these cars for pre-purchase inspection and I keep some car money. Which again, now the Corolla brings in money every week. Passive income. This one, is a pre-purchase inspection. So basically, this car also feeds me. So there is no way you're going to tell me my car is a liability. But there are people that simply drive the car for like 5 kilometers a day. People like that, a car might prove to be a liability for you. You have a lot of money and you just want to see your car there. Now, there is also a category of people that work in town and live in town. You work in Bukoto, you live in Tinda. If you buy a car, it might not be a very wise decision. New or old, it might not be a very wise decision. Why am I saying that? For you, ordering an Uber might be cheaper than you owning a car. Like Ubers, people that live in Tinda Bukoto, Naria, Ubers ziringa bijanjaro mpitirivu. You can order an Uber and get it in like 5 minutes. So why buy a car when you can use Uber and I don't know what's the minimum rate for Ubers these days, but if you live in Tinda and work in Bukoto, you can use like 8,000 to 8,000 back. Now, the 8,000 to and 8,000 back is 16,000. Let's say you use 20,000 for transport if you used Uber. Looks like it's a lot of money, right? But let's try and consider how much we have to invest in a car to keep it. Fuel, if you work in Bukoto and live in Tinda, you'll use 10,000 every day. Okay? Now, let's just imagine you have bought a new car from the bond. Let's say you bought a Sienta at 25 million shillings. Okay? Now, every day you use that car on the road is extra money. Me, I told you, like the way I calculate my money is from the time I buy a car. Like this car, the money I'm buying it, the fuel I'm putting in it while it's not being productive, the service I incur in this car, okay, the repairs I do on the car, the extras I put in the car like the radio, woofers, new tires, if I end up buying rims, all those expenses, I pile that money on the car. So at the end of the day, if I bought a car like 10 million and I spend a total of 5 million on it, okay, at the time I'm selling that car and I sell it 10, I've lost 5 million. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. If you buy a car, 25 million, you buy new tires, 700,000, because majority of those cars, you'll have to buy tires. Within the first year, you have to buy tires. You buy tires, 700,000. You buy a radio, 600,000, the Android radio. You buy a woofer, let's say at 200,000. Now, those are things that kind of make the value go up for your car. You put these lights, like in my car, I put blue lights in one seat. When you open the door, the blue lights go on one way murinya. So you put the blue lights, let's say they cost you 100k. You put tint, which will cost you 100k as well. Okay. What else? What other things do you guys put in your cars when you buy them from the bond? Let's say you come to Arthur and put a tracker, 350,000. You put an alarm, 210,000 if you use Arthur. Pre-purchase inspection, 450,000. That's for Arthur. I'm just trying to calculate a Sienta that you buy at 25 million shillings. How much money you lose every day. So you buy a Sienta at 25 million shillings. You add the 700,000 for tires. You add the 600,000. That was what? Radio. You add the 200,000 for the woofer. You add the 100,000. What was that for? I don't remember. I didn't write what. Then you add an 100,000. We have the TNT. Then you put a truck at 350,000. You put an alarm at 210. You put pre-purchase inspection if you use Arthur, which is 450 right now. What other thing do you guys normally do with your car? The first service, which will cost you about 120. Okay, I think those are literally the things that you guys do when we buy cars. Already a Moroka Jogs 25 is at 27,830,000 shillings. Okay, now you have bought the car at 25, but right now, by the mere addition of all the things that you guys normally want in your cars, it's 27,800,000. Now that car because in the bond it's 25, people are going to want to give you 23 if you're lucky, and the 23 is there and someone is really looking for a car, and in the bond they have told them 25, and then Arthur knows you by accident and they say, oh, but there's this person that is selling their car at 23 million. How much have you lost? Wanji tugatafena, you have lost 4,800,000 by just driving that car for like a month or 3 or 4. You have lost 4. So does it still make sense for you to go to the bond just like that? Now I'm not saying you're going to sell, because when I say things like that, like this, people start imagining, oh, I'm not saying you're going to sell, but I'm just showing you how much money a car loses. This car has lost 4 million in under a year. Let me give you another example. There's a field that we bought recently. The black field that we bought. Send us a tuajigura. Guy yonajiza mukatale. Ainzo jitunda even more than that. After going to Bakuli and seeing the fielders that were there, field I think tuajigura 17 chitundu. He can sell it at 18. Because of the extras they put in that car. Now, the old cars reach a point and they no longer lose value. Wachegera kaunde nkadde ena wetuka nekoma ngate kyato kyasobola gifuna mulayisa asingaawo ngera bwebera mulayisa asingaawo basubuzi be bagendo jigula because oli agenda kuba ayidde nga gwe tomanyi gyali agenda jivuga agitwale mbasubuzi abasubuzi bajo jigula ayira bagiguze sente entuufa. I don't know if you guys get sense. Now my broadcast is supposed to go for 1 hour, so it's 42 minutes. I don't know, you guys muna bechengeza ko bagamba. So cars, new cars, bond cars are losing value every day, because right now because of the regulation by government that we can't import cars that are older than 15 years. I think every year that comes, new cars come, and then if you bought a 2009 car today, next year people are going to be buying 2010 at the price you bought a 2009. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So it means next year your car will lose value. In just under a year, your car is losing a lot of value, because you bought a car at 28 million to this year. Next year people 2009 28. Next year people are going to be buying a 2010. Next year again, I've got 2011 by the way. Next year people are going to be buying a 2011 at the same price or even lower than what you bought your car this year. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So is it still worth? Can I comment them? Can I send this comment them? More especially the starting people, it's not worth buying a new car, because you will need to add up that money or buy in business. Buy a bond car when it's adding value to you, because the moment you buy it, it loses value. A lot of value though. New cars come with the latest safety features and are very likely to be reliable, though they can come with a higher price tag and insurance costs. Clark Ray, I'm thinking you're imagining someone buys comprehensive insurance. Ugandans don't buy comprehensive insurance. Used cars are generally cheaper because the higher depreciation of their years is already behind them, and you may not need as much insurance coverage. Clark Ray, people don't buy comprehensive insurance in Uganda. Majority of people. Good day, Brian. Gideon Video. After you make me feel like I don't need the car. Truth is, I don't, but I have it, but won't sell it. No. If you already have a car, keep your car. It's people like me. I drive 35 kilometers to get from my home to my workplace, and I do the same distance back home. Now, when Gatako went to Arabana bag, so when went to Aramchala kumulimu, mpeza 40 kilometers a day. So kitegeeza I drive a minimum of, I do 85 by the way every day, 85 kilometers. Central Forex Command, good evening. Moses Heath, good evening. But you are right, a car is unnecessary expense, but I have driven for years and used to just having one. Yeah, if you're used to having a car, you're already gone. Why you know you're a gone case. I bought a Primo X at 17 million in 2020 and can sell it at present price. Exactly, Shafiq. That's exactly what I'm telling these guys. Nti omuntu aguse moroke nkadde asobola gitunda sente ze bwaba yagula bulungi asobola gitunda sente. There's someone that called me, someone that teyapa na consultation omusajja oyo yankubiranga ngamba bamuguza Primo eri ku UAC ne bagimuguza sima sente meka mutamye ayagala kugitunda there we ayogerera omusajja oli yagula fielder nga naye Primo ajagala ne mugamba mpereze ebifaananyi by'emmolokayo nyina agigula nga maze nomuwa amagezi gange totunda kolamu buno biki ne yeekuba n'agamba si kyantu naye nga twali tugenda mugula sente emmoloka twali tugenda gigula sente ze yagigula tumwongeremu n'akakadde okitegeera naye nga bya complaining nga some of the problems that you guys actually see as issues are not really issues when you buy old cars. Some of the issues are escalated when you get the bad mechanics. A bad mechanic can make you hate your car. Okitegeera, I need a Corolla like yours at 8 million or less. How possible is that? I can't say it's impossible. I can't say it's impossible. Just do your due diligence. I'm holding my pen waiting for mathematics for buying old car like Spazio. King Daniels, katikali. Obudde bwaffe bunati atuyine dakika 13. So anyway, tumaze okukola math w'emmoloka empya ni how much money the car loses, because of all the people we have bought cars with, ebintu byasooka okulowoozako okukola kuteekamu radio ya screen ya Android abamu bazigula even more, bateekamu woofer, abalala oli twagula naye fielder 17 obusasi bwaliko buno the rain babita guards n'ateekako obupya buli n'abujjako waliwo obuntu bwalibulako n'abuteekako okitegeera. People want to buy sport rims, ze mmotoka gye nvuga kateriko sport rim ne wheel cap ezaaliko abaana bazibbako mu jam. So I want to just buy wheel caps instead because sport rims don't really make sense. So anyway, before let's just try to do the math of a person that has bought a new car and a person that has bought an old car. Who saves? I did this math for you one time and I don't think you guys remember. But again, for example, in 20, of course, now there is something to this. Nti omuntu yaguda fielder in there are cars that will not lose as much value though. Let me tell you why. A person that bought a fielder in 2020, I have a friend of mine that bought a fielder in 2020 at 25 million shillings. It's UBJ right now. A UBJ fielder will still go for 25. But ye yajeretera okuva ebweru wano zaali mu million 28 at that time. So nomukujeretera saving. However, the downside is yeretera emmoloka eyo ng'eriko mileage nnene nnyo. Yaliko emitwalo 18. Very high mileage. Okitegeera emitwalo 12 would be understandable. Okitegeera naye yaleta emmoloka I think ebya mileage teyabifaako. Okitegeera. So there are cars like that might not lose that much value. Like a person imports a Primo, kati ono ate okuba nti asobola okugyayo sente ze, it's because yajeretera. Bw'oba ogiguze wano kati yagigula $28,000,000 aba aluzinga sente because teyinza sukka $26,000,000 ekinene nnyo. Kiza agenda kuluzinga $2,000,000 kale ze $2,000,000 bw'ogattako byagenza akola mu mmotoka eyo, he's losing more than that. Okitegeera agenda baluzinga $7,000,000 ku 8. Okitegeera because omuntu eyagula wano emmotoka mu 2020 n'agigula $28 million, $30 million, ataddeko emipiira I think like once or twice, aguze shock emirundi ng'ebiri. Kati bw'aba agigula eri gye basiira gye babaguza shock ez'emitwalo 6, otegeera ogenda okukigattagattamu aba losing like 7 to 8 million. But anyway, let's just imagine that person at the time yagigula 2021, he bought his fielder at 25 million shillings. I bought my Corolla here at 5.5. Okay, now that Corolla I put a new engine, najigula 2.2. Okay, neninyisa value yayo negenda mu, when I took the value up kati awebewezeza 7,700,000 shillings. The other things that I did on the car, like tires, when I started doing pre-purchase inspection, that car got back the money. That's why I'm saying my cars are never liabilities. Glasses, these glasses, they get dust, no tukanga high raiwa. So my car was at 7.7. Now all these other things that I've done on that car, I've covered them with pre-purchase inspection. With for the love of cars has covered those expenses. That start just gives us a different look. Ante ulida kayongo. Do you know why I'm giving you? Because I'm comparing two people I know. I don't want to compare instances with that don't make sense. Now, that person travels 14 kilometers from home to work, 14 kilometers back. Some days he doesn't come to town because msajja mukulu oluma akolera waka. I travel 85 kilometers a day since 2021 when I bought that car. So on average, my car has done more work for me than this person that bought his car at 25 million shillings. Kati, let me just add all the other expenses a little bit. Tugate. Omwami ono yagula emipiira gye yagigula $1.1 million. Ono eyagula emmoroka 25 yagula emipiira $1.1 million. Okay? Emmoroka ya Jane Sport Rim sote yazissaako. N'agenda n'akola dashboard. Remember the fielder dashboards die a lot. N'agenda n'agula dashboard, n'akola dashboard bamujjako $40,000. Okitegeera? Yakagula shock absorbers omulundi gumu. That's what I know. Yazigula $50,000. Okitegeera? Mark you, this car does not make money directly for him the way the Corolla has made money directly for me. I think that's in a way how different it is for people that buy cars. What situation? Why are you buying? Why are you buying that car? So nze nakagula shock omulundi gumu nange. Nazigula the front shocks I bought them at 150. The rear shocks I bought them 130. That's 280. I bought my shocks at 280. Nakazigula omulundi gumu. Nengula emipiira 2 times because I drive a very long distance. So if I've bought tires 2 times, no. Yes, 2 times. So that's 700,000 times 2. That's 1.4. Okay, that's 1.4. What else did I buy for that car? Yeah, engine najiba zeddai. I put an alarm for 210,000. Now let me round off suspension repairs of your bushy. I'm going to say that on average every month I was spending, no, every like 4 months since 2021. These are 2 years we are talking about. 2 years on average every 4 months. So that's 12 divided by 4, which means I have 3 times, and every time I spent about 120. That's 360 times 2. That's 720. Working on oronkola suspension bush zifudde. Then waliwo ebirala bye mbadde ngangula, CV joints. Every time the rainy season comes, nempita mazzi, CV joint ezo zifa nnyo. CV joint ya $8,000 nakagula CV joint emirundi 3. That's 80,000. That's 80,000 times 3. That's 240,000. Okay. Chechirala chenagula. I did the rear suspension. Every bush was 50,000. That was 100,000. That I did once. What else? Nagula buze dio kono which are like about 80,000. Nakamugula emirundi akabugula emirundi mukaaga, that's 480,000. Na akakola wheel alignment, the 2 times I put tires I did wheel alignment, and my wheel alignment is at 40,000. Those are times 2 times, then I did an extra like 4 times, which I was just doing randomly. Those are 6. That's an extra 240,000. Okay. What else? I resprayed that car at 600,000. 600,000 respray. What else did I do on that car? We bateka mu engine nasasula ya abana awoleba wa mitwalo 10 mbadde simubaze. So let me do the total of how much money I spent on this Corolla in total to gatene nga ate ekyali kubbala. Right now it has given me 150,000 every week for 4 weeks. Okitegeera. So ngenda gifisaako emitwalo 4 in the past month. Ngenda fisa emitwalo ameka kubanga tomorrow tugenda kola service. Ngenda fisa emitwalo 4. So far yakakola emitwalo 4 yakola pre-purchase inspection since 2022. I've been doing pre-purchase inspection in that car. But let me do the math. The other was 7.7 plus 280,000 plus 1.4 plus 210,000 plus 720,000 plus 240,000 plus 100,000 plus 480,000 plus 240,000 plus 600,000 plus 100,000. Emoroka eyo Corolla yange mugiraba egenzo malako emyaka 2 kambale million 15 nga zeeridde. I've rounded off. The total I've counted here is 12,700,000. However, I've rounded off nti emoroka eyo egenzo malako emyaka 2 before I gave it to the Uber person. It has overtaken 15 million. Okay? If it has overtaken 15 million, katugate zono 25 million shillings plus, and 25 was the purchase price. Shipping it from Mombasa to Kampala will normally cost 1 million shillings. So plus 1 million shillings of the driver to drive it from Mombasa to Kampala. So that's 25 million plus 1 million shillings plus the 1.5 that bought tires. I'm saying that because I know that he told me personally, plus 400,000 of suspension plus the 500,000 that was shock absorbers. So this gentleman's car he has so far invested 28 that I know of, 28 million and 400,000 shillings. Which again, tetugenda bala service, tetugenda bala chi, tetugenda bala ebigwa bitalaze kuba sibimanyi. So my car have invested, let's say 15 million, he has invested 28 million. Okay, 15 million, I was selling that car at 10 million. So I was making a loss of 5 million. Okay, at the time of selling. Nene kuba ningamba sikyatunze Corolla yange kesigale wenkolere. So ku 15 million shillings enaka samu ekomezaawo emitwalo 4. So far now my car etandise okukola sente zaayo. You get what I'm saying? Etandise okuza. And by the way ku 15 million emoroka eyo yakola pre-purchase inspection ziri zonna muzijjukira eza 2022 nga sinakyusa vuga moroka ndala na ezo tetujja zibala tugirikaawo. So the Corolla eyo bwe tudda mazima nandibanga njibanjayo million nga 8 bwe tugatta pre-purchase inspection ziri. Okitegeera? Bwe tugatta pre-purchase inspection ezo zonna zezeekola. But katukimanyi nti njibanja million 15. So far it has given me 400,000, so njibanje million 14 n'emitwalo meka 6. Ngenda gireka ku bbala. Ne ku lwokusatu olujja bagenda kumpa sente endala. This gentleman on the other hand abadde emmotoka agivuga kukola bibye. Era olumu bw'aba agenda mu kyalo tavuga mmoroka eyo agireka waka n'alinnya taxi. Nze nagana olinnya taxi. Okujja ko twagenda okukola pre-purchase inspection kwa Alteza ne tusanganga nvundu ne tukomawo mu taxi. Naye nze emirimu gy'okutambulira mu taxi sigikola. Awo navaawo. So 28 plus 15 Okay, now one thing I need you guys to understand is that of all the money that I put in this car, when I bought it at 5.5, all this money I didn't need to put it at once. Zino sende zizenzi tekamu regularly. Ngabo noganti ekonye maso kangene nkatekemu yetaga kano ochitegeera those things. However, this gentleman invested 25 million shillings at once. Then he invested an extra 1 million to get the car to Kampala. Then he invested the 1.5 for tires because jari mikadde. Ochitegeera. So kati byatekamu gradually je gine emitwalo ekyenda. Shock absorbers gine emitwalo nawe ne dashboard je batereza. Byatekamu gradually. Ebirala byonna yakwata million 27 n'ekitundu. Yazisaamu omulundi gumu. Ochitegeera. Nze saazi saamu gumu. Of course saazi lina ye yazirina. Ochitegeera. So gwe bwokola math wo, is it better for you to buy of course now you can't get a Corolla at 5.5. You said the 2021 cars were still cheap. But I've given you those scenarios because I'm very conversant of the scenarios in Zimanyi. I know the person that I'm talking about with the fielder. I know the person. I know myself. So the Corolla is still on the road. Kati Corolla ku million 15 zenjibanja etandise okunziriza sente zange. Era omwana oyo wa Uber asobola okugiva munenji wo omulala naye nampe 15 buli wiki. You get what I'm saying? So nesigala ngenkolera senge nenkolera omwaka ngempe emitwalo 8 egenda kuba 5 ezijjeeko nga njibanje million mmeka 10 wabula ne bwene ekola that period nja kuba siise gitunda sente zikawansi wa million 8 bwena aba bagikumye bulungi nja kuba sinza gitunda million zikawansi wa 10. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So after hearing that math, is a new car worth it? And no, it's not that I've not had trouble with the Corolla. Remember the time when Nabagama and Temoroka yali eruzinga amani? You guys remember that? When I nakateka mu engine empia. Then I got that fixed. Some of these problems, you guys keep having these problems that make you make some bad decisions, some bad purchase decisions, simply because you have the wrong mechanics. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. The start gives us a different look. Sikutegede nyo viyani na ye. Amina antege. Nze, I'm going to send you purchase inspection money a month before I give you time to look for the best car for my Mufunampol at around 15. Sasha, I don't work like that. Cars don't actually work like that. Okujja kongo ngamba. Newe kukira kusawa nyeze echo ne bangambe moroka yino ya busubuzo girawo ne sente. Which you guys can't do. Ochitegeera. If you can't do that, olunaku lwogenda okunoonya moroka lwobojja tunoonye moroka. Ochitegeera. It doesn't make sense. Big man, well done work. I mean, Chef Dinson. So anyway, today tumazokola comparison. I think about King Daniels. Has the pen made sense? So let's try to imagine the cars that you guys are buying right now, because now you guys are buying cars of 15 million. I'm going to imagine you're going to buy a car of 15 million. Okay, let's say 17 million. Because at 17 million, you're going to get a UB series car. Now, I'm talking about someone that doesn't have a lot of money. You're not going to buy a 2.4 liter Kawundo, 2.4 liter Kruger. You're buying a normal car. You're buying a Sienta. You're buying you're buying a Mark X. Huh? You're buying a Subaru Impreza. You're buying the Primo new model, but not a very new number plate. You're buying a Wish. 17 million shillings. Then imagine someone that goes to the bond and buys a Wish at 30 million. Which take it, 30 million shillings. 30 million Bajiwandi Kabati. I'm actually writing, guys. Yeah. It's very ramshackled, but I'm writing. So let's imagine someone buys a used car. Let's imagine you have bought a Wish at 17 million. I can tell you this. A Wish at 17 million cannot lose more than 2 million. Nebo wo papier. Okuja kongo papa bya kisiru. Nebo wo papier. a wish at 17 million shillings, go back and try to sell it to a trader, he will buy it at 15. Bajaji gwe million nga 15. Oba ekitonde nnyo bajaji gula 14. Bota papa, you can sell it at 17. Bota papa. Now, the person that buys a wish at 30 million from the bond, okay? That person, the moment they drive the car from the bond, the car loses 3 million. Sure deal. It loses 5. Kari, tugende ku 30, bajigula 27. Are losing the bajigula 27 million shillings. Now, there is a difference. Nti omwami ono aguze moroko okuva mu bondi, okay? Agenda kwagala okugifuula gyayagala because it's a new car. The love people have for their new cars banange. Mukama abasasire mwagale moroka zamu. Agenda soka agule Android radio ya mitwalo nka. I discourage people from doing this but they do it anyway. Agenda soka agule radio ya mitwalo nkaga. Ufa inzo butazisamu because the speakers nekana akamoroka kevuga wadde katono kaina only 2 speakers nebu Twitter but the sound is massive namwe mujiwulira. Agenda soka agule gundi ezo atekemu tracker because the new car needs a tracker ya mitwalo 35. Okay? Agule emipira sure deal ya mitwalo 7. Now I'm talking about the small cars that take the 14 size tires. One way jigenda okubeja akakadde ejimu jijja kuyitamu. Okay? So ajiguze 30 already ngatana jivuga yadde omwezi ataddemu ezo sente zonna. Ataddemu emipira gya mitwalo 7 neyingira milioni 3 mwemu. Ataddemu emipira ne truck 3 mwemu. Bwaba nsasudde pre-purchase inspection wa mitwalo 45. Okay? Kitegeeza zino ziweze milioni 2. So already mmoroka jaguze milioni 3 yingira 3 mu mmeka? 3 mu 2. Gwe bwogula wish ku milioni 17 if you do pre-purchase inspection the right way. N'otagivugisa kimama naawe because mmoroka zino tugula nkadde. Normally I tell you guys when you buy a car, drive that car for 3 months before you do anything. 3 what? But drive it modestly because the mmoroka oguze nkadde. Kakati bono ogule mmoroka eno wish milioni 17, there are chances that you're going to find some faulty shock absorbers. There are chances. Now, these are things I normally don't want you to rule out naddala ng'ogule mmoroka enkadde. Okitegeera, naddala ng'ogule mmoroka nkadde. Don't rule out having 1 shock absorber bad or 2 shock absorbers bad or suspension bad. But emmoroka gye tugule milioni 17, you can drive it for 3 months nga tolina kyokutteko. Bw'oba okoze nange inspection. Actually, you can drive that car for a year nga tolina kyokoze bw'oba ng'onaawe ovuga bulungi. Now, let's do this. You have bought this car 17 million. You have given me 450,000 for pre-purchase inspection. Tuyingide million 17 n'emitwalo 4 mweta. Notekamu tracker ya mitwalo 3 because 17 million shillings doesn't grow on trees. Omwana bw'anajja nabba emmoroka eyo million 17 zigenda bazigenze tekamu tracker. So tuyingide million 17 n'emitwalo 8. Okay? Now, let's imagine you're the kind of person oyagala emmoroka yo malidadi. Okitegeera? Because if you went to buy a car and it didn't have tires, we'll definitely push it down to 16. Kitegeeza tukulekiremu akakadde ako ogenda okateekeko emipiira. Kitegeeza ezemu 17. Now, milioni zine 17 n'emitwalo 8. I can assure you moroka yogenda vuga nvuge. Bw'oba okoze nange pre-purchase inspection ng'ate weeronze bannange mwantu bantu mmwe mweronda. Mujja okukola inspection ne mweronda nankugamba bannange bw'oba ogula emmoroka sente zino kino kyekirungi. I want a UBJ. Kati omuntu oyagala wish eri ku UBJ ku milioni 16. Oyagala emmoroka wish eri ku UBJ. Ate nno temweronda namba zokka. You guys even say saagala ya silver njagala ya black. Kati n'olabira ddala ng'emmoroka ya black mu Uganda erimu emu wish etundibwe essaawa eno nga nyini yagiseera. Okitegeera? 17.8. If you're not very picky, you can get a wish at like 17. Ngevuga buvuzi. Nogenda nokola ebibyo. If you're not very picky, now the trouble comes when you guys start being picky. I want a UBD. I want UB series. Okitegeera? Ng'emmoroka gye ziri ezitali UB series nga ate empya okusinga UB series. I'll give you an example. We try to know emmoroka. The people I took to the bond eventually. Simanyi oba baguze emmoroka because I've not been called. But the people I took to the bond, nagenda okulaba nga beeronda nnyo ne mbagamba you know what, let me take you to the bond. Ne tugenda ku bond nga sente ezigula emmotoka ya bond tebaziinaawo there, okay, but they could collect it. Okitegeera? So they decided let them go back, collect money, and then come back and buy cars, buy the car from the bond. I don't know if they went back. If they went back, well and good, but I took them to the bond. Ne balabala emmotoka ze baagala. Okitegeera? But the reason why I took them to the bond, even when I knew they did in their budget, emmotoka ze beeronderamu budget yeeyo naye nga okweronda okwali wali nga mutuufu baagala kunkyawa. Okitegeera? Nze nga because normally I know a car you can get in your price range, but if you start wanting to get a car that is not within your price range, then oyagala kunkyawa nakwonoona linnya lyange. So I took them to the bond. They saw the car, ne batambula ekibanda kyonna ne beeyagala. Okitegeera? Ne mbalekayo ne mbagamba naamu decide zinga mwezi za sente mumpite nkole inspection. Okitegeera? Akizaimana kitoko BTTV ngompanise nnyo Amina Judio no paye. Christian Mutiaba agamba, hello Arthur, I have 40 millions and I want to buy my first car. Was inquiring between Fielder 2010-2012 model or buying a used Kaundo. What would be a better option for me, a 27-year-old? Now it depends, like Second Jack Ranma has asked you, what do you want to use the car for? Osobola okufuna Ipsam ku bukadde buna nga nungi tejja kuba nungi nnyo naye ejja kuba nene Ipsam muno zikyalabika naye nga nkimanyi ojja gifuna ngerimu ebyokukola naye ngine gyaba simpoomu ejja kubaamu ebyokukola ojja kuba wetagogisamu obukadde nga bubiri ge mazima. Ipsam, the minimum you should have should be like 6 carry for the Ipsam, because everyone that can't afford the Wish, the special hire guys, the farm guys, they buy the Ipsam. Second Jack Ranma, the car is for my personal daily use around Kampala and once in a while out of Kampala. Sekanja depends on how the fuel issue works for you. If you don't mind the fuel prices and how much fuel, buy a Kaundo. You won't even use 40 million. Buy a Kaundo at like 35, which they get. Me, I find that actually when mana okula Kaundo ya via in kilometer 8 per liter, it's worth the comfort. 8 kilometers per liter is okay. Nga buno bafo butono butuwa 15 tewali kweyagala na kwamu buno bafo butono butuwa 15 eriye kuwa 8 oli wagulu eri oli eswaga bobo soro amafuta tegakumenya gula Kaundo boba amafuta gakumenya gena mu bondi ogule Fielder okitegeera naye Kaundo. You guys that want to buy Kaundos, you need to be very careful. The Kaundo engine dies. Engine za Kaundo ezisinga mu katale enfu. Now it needs a technical ear for you to know eno engine namu obanfu, because ojajigula Kaundo gwenga totegedde nti engine ndwadde nenga ndwadde. Engine za Kaundo ze engine ezikyasinza okufa mu katale ate kafa abamanyi kyangu nnyo kyakutegeera nti eno engine enfu eno namu. So bwoba ogenda okugula Kaundo, whether in the bond or used, nezo mu bonding ezisinga nfu, be very careful. Okitegeera? Africa Carota, how are you my brother? After 2024 cars at 12 million tufuna ziri wangenda bagamba. I'm going to do a broadcast on that. Ngate nywa nnyo Arthur. Kaundo tenywa nnyo nze nange natia. I have 16 million. Which type of car can I get? Me, I prefer Auris, Paso Sete. Ojafuna Subaru Impreza. Paso Setes are still new. The Aurises are very rare. Buy a Fielder City because you will save a lot during those short distances in Kampala. How much is the Lexus old model on new FV? I have no idea because I've not really looked for a Lexus with anyone. Nyinzo okugula Kaundo Arthur. Kaundo nange nagira byengeri mulyo because 8 kilometers per liter for a Kaundo is not bad. Atenga, of course now Vianney drives full tank. I've got full tank. Kati Kaundo era bonogiteka ngamo mutwalo ejja kunywa. Nego jiwa mafuta nga gawera tojja kwejjusa. What do you have to say about the Wish new model? I love that car. It has the best engine for Toyotas right now, Valvematic. Tenure. Buy it if you have the money. Sekanja, ochiraye nange lwaki ngamba nti agule Kaundo. Because Fielder ya million yana. Chiba chibulamu. Awuvuga mu Kaundo ya million 35. Bwaba, because grandma, you can find that this person doesn't work so far. nga lita bwebange moroka eyo 8 kilometers go for a liter ngera kawunda avuga mutwalo every day. You get like for people that live near the city, actually mwebagayi bwaba lyanchallenge nga mpe milioni 15 mu nyumba yange nzijango mpe sente nzingende sembere kumpi n'ekibuga nze mvuge moroka ezebbeeyi nzimaleyo mu ggwanga, because even if your car was consuming like 5 kilometers a liter, if you live in Bukoto and work in Ntinda, or if you live naye babeera nyumba ezisinga ziri wala kati amataka agasinga nago n'ekira wala. You guys, the people that live in Chira actually travel 25 kilometers. Nze mbasinga ko kilomita 10. Okitegeera ate nga jamu we wabwe mubi nnyo. Chris Daniels used what? What do you have to say about? I don't know of I've not been with someone that wanted to buy a used one like that, and I don't see them a lot used. One thing you need to understand, Chris Daniels, is that the wish, I want to have a wish ezimpya bakazivuga tezinaweza mwaka katali. So kitegeeza zikyali mpya. So ero jagigula bay. It's boboji sans. It's even rare to find. Rastas in Milan is 2015 Impreza XP worth buying 50 million. And the Rastas in Milan, you need to understand that the people that buy Subarus don't buy for the cost. They don't mind the money. They are just passionate about those cars. So they would buy. So I don't find it to be worth that money. Of course, now I don't have the 50 million in cash here to go and buy a car. It's a nice car, but I don't find it to be worth. I don't find the IST worth 30 something million. The IST should be priced the same price like the Vitz, Sienta. The Passion Center should even be much more expensive. After you look at Match Kanji, though today you are speaking to my soul. I mean a chairman Zach. Winnie Muonge, how are you? I would rather go to eat a Vanguard. Yeah? Sichitegede. Vinny Katz, Castor Tusi. Amina Chris Daniels. Bro, about Toyota Nuwa Road to Wara used for retail shop. Buy the 2002 Nuwa Tenywa. Eyo Nuwa mgongo gwamba jireke. Leave all those people telling you simanya ngumu. Go wa retail shop chicho gendo kwetika chamanye lichi eta somola kwetika. Always buy newer technology whenever you can afford. Jidudu Godwin, talk about Subaru Impreza XV. No, I don't find it to be worth. Insight on Forester 2008, they are good cars. They have the normal Subaru problems. Just buy if you can afford. I stay in Chanja and I work from home actually. I'm a forex trader. So guda kaundo. Mutiaba guda kaundo. Guda empundo we yagale. Ebya fielder biveko. Ebya fielder bya babere wala. Ne ate nange wadembera wana. I'm considering a kaundo whenever I get money. Why? Abantu bange babe comfortable. Nakuba kaunde tashoko. Tuya katugenda gulanga Vanguard oba kuruga. Kaunde tashoko. I think that's like the biggest problem. VW Siroko. Ezo VW nze ngasitira kuzogera ko wano. Sagala kozesa abantu nsobi. Kubeze moroka zikozesa abantu ensobi. Oyina kubanga oyina sente zo nga zikusumba noga kanguleyo kitulage wano. Kanguleyo ki bagita bateri endala. Ebyo VW bayina sente. Do you think it's people that have money to spoil that buy those cars in Uganda? It's people that have a lot of money to spoil that buy. Anyway, kansoma manyaga mwe 1 hour ya feya isekoda. Joshua Mugalasi, Antonio Mutumba, Pade Tusime, Eddie, Sarari, Joshua. Don't forget, guys, I do pre-purchase inspection. I charge like a small money, but it's totally worth it. Only 450,000 in Zijane Makanika, and we make sure you get a good car at a good price. And we make sure you make the right decision, because that also we have those discussions as well. And that 450,000 in your service to Jukuba. I sell tracking devices. The first tracker is 350. You can turn off the engine remotely. You can track the car in real time. You can see where the car has been in the past and all that. And then there is one for 450 that adds voice activation. So the track is similar. So, and I also sell car alarms and 210,000. Is the prices I'm giving you include installation. Which again, that just into Boba to so that Gide Tower Fewali Jikolida Quality Office Yangi, then Otonga transport and to Kuteram. Stem cell therapy, Derek Lule, Herbert, Alcam Timo, Clark Ray, Mutumba Pade, Shagav Salmin, Mugabe Joshua, Juko Nicholas, Bukenya Abi, Andrew Chama, Vinny Katz, Jerishia Motors, King Daniels, Nahawe Solomon, Kamanyire Peter, Lucky Brint, Emmanuel Kabali, Aloyo Joan Jojo, Mambaba Murujumba Kasim, Kamanyire Peter Sikumaze, Gideon Mviri, Musema Saddam, Sekanja Kranima, Harbat Balvids, Betty Namuli, Rujumba Kasim, Samuel Sisi Musomesa, King Daniels, Banange Musomesa ngamba chali wafe wane yamuyamba ko mu banka namu isawo mangu linya ndiera bila Musomesa limpeze ku WhatsApp and I appreciate him. Bananga abantu abalaba ba member afa for the love of cars ne mutu isawe mwino tuisa ne mutu anguize emirimu mwebale nyo era namwe abanyamba ko nga nyina byenkola n'ompisawo. I don't take it for granted. Thank you very much. James Musinguzi, Firstborn, Alcam Timo, Hamim, Juku Nakumaze, BTTV, Clark Ray, Brian Wanyama, Central Forest Command, Moses Heath, Muanga Shafiq, King Daniel Sakumaze, Raiwa, Kayongo Vian, Ntege, Manex, Sasha Lavelle, Chief Denison, Gideon Opaye, Hakizaimana Kitoko, Chris Mutiaba, Kawesi Peter, Africa Karota, Kayongo Viani, Robert Muleme, Shafiq Lugemwa, Chris Daniels, Rastas in Milan, Winnie Muonge, Chairman Zak, Muloza Sebamaze, Tenywa Umar, Gidudu Godwin, Lucky Brint, and the things. Yes, we can. Guys, thank you very much for being part of this broadcast. Temwera bida. By the way, mwabaina watoba mwabaga okusoma script writing, directing, acting, arts management. Arts manager, by the way, abantu bantu bamanyi. Arts management course yambaka abantu a managing a venue, a managing a mabara, simanya restaurant, simanya a managing abayimbi, I'm managing a troops. The arts management course is very a course here for Chasin Zokube Platos Institute of Arts and Marketing. You can visit our website, platosinstitute.com. Yeah, platosinstitute.com. No other courses that we are available. We had our graduation some time back. Nakungazize Mawega. So you support me in whichever way you can support me. If you can just share a link of the institute, I'm going to put at work here. Now we're also downloading a fly and no status here. It will do me very well so that people can actually come and support us. Katera Amina na yo zenga ngenda. I'd rather go for a Toyota Vanguard. True. Amina Antonio. Kasozi Henry, good evening. Say something about Primo X. Is it reliable? Very reliable, Henry. Guys, Kamba Sibule, may the good Lord be with you. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 7:15 a.m. Ciao.